Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's Training Tuesday. I am Heidi Reese from Dayton Superior, and I am the Training Programs Manager. Real quick, want to remind you that everyone who has joined the call has joined muted so that we eliminate the background noise, any of that kind of stuff. But I want you to please use the Zoom's question and answer or chat feature to talk with me anytime you want. I would love that. Also, get those questions prepared for our mini Q&A session at the very end. We record all of these Training Tuesdays, and most are posted out on the DaytonSuperior.com website, as well as our Dayton Superior YouTube channel. There's about 150 trainings. I think we did our 160th last week with Chuck. And they're out there for you to peruse. And if you are interested in any certain topic, such as precast, got them organized by topic, all for you to just check them out. So just go to DaytonSuperior.com and search Training Tuesday to find the latest and greatest of the four we've done. And then they'll push you out depending on the button you choose for the subject matter you choose. So just as a reminder too, this presentation is intended for training purposes only. So we're going to talk about some products in here and anything that we do talk about. I want you to go out to DaytonSuperior.com and check on the technical specifications, whether it's TDS, SDS, application guides for the products that we mentioned. It's really important to know these products. This is just a training to enlighten you on it. And speaking of, we really only do these as a short blurb. If you want something greater, we've got Chuck on the line. He's actually not our presenter today, but he's hanging out with me, and he and I can talk to you about extra training if you want to do a deeper dive and get him or our other experts out there for you and be able to provide you with that, whether it's customized or not. So Dayton Superior, I hope you know, we are the leading provider of engineered solutions for the concrete construction industry. You know that we handle accessories and chemicals and forming and shoring. You're seeing all this good stuff going on the screen right now, I hope. And this is all of the product brands that we have available for you. So not only are we that leading provider, the one-stop shop, we provide solutions for bridge deck, rebar splicing, tilt-up precast, chemicals, forming, and shoring. And that, we specialize in all of that, proven results to help you with your projects. And we would love to talk to you about things. But one of the most important things that I think that we bring to the table is not only the products that are, it's the engineering services that we provide for you, the technical expertise. We have the largest organization of engineers in-house that can either provide you or the software tools. And then I've already talked about the training. So we're here for you from bid to build, basically. All right, so let's get to the good stuff, why you're here. Swift Lift System. We're going to talk about utility precast and heavy civil precast with a Swift Lift system. So who is going to talk to us today? So I want you to go easy. It's his first one, and he's been preparing, but it's nerve-wracking when you can't see the group and we're all muted, but he's going to talk to me, and he's going to tell me about everything that's great about Swift Lift. So it's Scott Robinson, and he's here to enlighten us on it. He is one of our precast technical service representatives for the South Central region. So it's like Texas and Louisiana, LA, all that area down there. And he's helping the customers determine the right product for the job and assisting in any challenges that you might have. He has been in the concrete industry for over 6 years, including sales, customer technical assistance, toll blending for concrete, and manufacturing. In addition, he is a member of the PCMA, which is the Precast Concrete Manufacturers Association, as well as the loved PCI, Precast Prestressed Concrete Institute. So without further ado, Scott, take it away.
All right, Heidi, thank you for that intro. Thank you to you and Chuck for, putting in the work over these years and, providing this training for our customers. Thank you to the customers that are on the line. Today, as Heidi said, we're going to talk about the Swift Lift system, and we're going to jump right in. So I can figure out this mouse. There we go. So the Swift Lift system, what is it? Okay. Was provided by Dayton Superior in North America in 1972, and Dayton was actually one of the very first to market a quick connect style system in the US. All of our anchors are at a 4-to-1 OSHA safety factor, meaning that they're intended to be reused more than once. So, excuse me, intended to be used more than once. So, how that translates is, the parts are cast, they're stripped, they're loaded for transport, and then installed at the job site. So, the safety factor is in there provided so that they are reusable. All of our hardware, so our ring clutches, and others are at a 5-to-1 safety factor. Our safe working loads, on all of these anchors, we run from a 1 ton all the way up to a 20 ton and some in between. And what are these ideally suited for? So ideally, the system is designed for utility and some heavy civil applications, and others, but primarily where they really shine is in the pipe and box culvert manufacturing. And then also on the civil side, you've got different applications such as highway barriers, you've got some bridge abutments, wing walls, etc. Uh, One of the advantages is the head style, and the reason for that is that it's due to the shape, and also the flexibility for positioning this anchor and the clutch system so that it really evenly distributes the load, and it offers a lot of flexibility for placement. And that goes into that next segment right there. As far as the loads, they can be applied in almost any direction. There's no weak direction, so it picks up on your shear values. And also on with our system anyway, we manufacture domestically and import, but we do manufacture domestically, so these can be made at almost any length for your application. We'll move on here. And so what we're looking at here, this is our anchors and our lifting clutches. On the right, you're going to see an example here of our P52. That's our dog bone style anchor, and it's named appropriately because it does look like a dog bone. Um, the load rating is going to be listed on the head of the anchor. And correspondingly over here on the left, you're going to have a picture of our P50 clutch, lifting clutch. We're going to talk some more about that. And in addition, we're going to have some stampings on the bail of this clutch as well. So these are going to correspond. We'll talk some more on that. You see a 4 on the bail of this P50, and then a 4 on the head of this P52 anchor. So those are designed to be used together based on your safe working loads. And they also, again, 4-to-1 lifting factor and a 5-to-1 factor on the lifting hardware. So what we're showing here, and this is also available through our precast handbook that's available in print form as well as online in digital form. You can request that through any of your local Dayton reps, or you can contact myself or Heidi or Chuck, and we'd be happy to send you a copy of our handbook handout. This is going to talk about just showing the P52 anchor. It's going to talk about your various capacities as they pertain to the length, also your concrete mix design, and your minimum edge distances. Um, those are important because the embedment depth and edge spacing are critical really in determining some of the other factors and how you're going to use this system, how it's going to engage with your panels or with your formwork. It may require the use of a shear bar. It may require use of a different style of swift lift anchor, which is a P53, something we'll talk about here in a bit, with tension bars, shear bars, and also how you're going to pick these products at the end with some of our lifting hardware. But really, just walking down this list, you get a very good idea of where you need to be concrete strength wise and capacity and length styles for your anchor. Another thing to point out as well, and I see this here on the slide, but we do manufacture these domestically and we do manufacture them in stainless steel as well. So various sizes, almost to any length. Some we will carry in stock in more common lengths, but if you do have a custom project, please reach out, let us know, and we can provide a quote for that. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are used primarily in applications for utility work. And here we're looking at, a manhole, riser, and a cap. So what kind of where this is a kind of a shining example of, use in the field, these were the system was initially designed not only to be ease of use in installation and manufacturing, but also in the field. So once these are in place, the rest of the work can go along very quickly. They're easy to pick. The contractors, this system's been around 40, 50 years. So it's something that, there's a lot of familiarity in almost everywhere in the US and Canada, also in Europe as well. But once this is down in the ground, there's really the backfilling starts immediately. They are not spending a bunch of time cleaning up panels because there's no holes to patch. We all know time is money, and that really translate into a smart decision for using our system in order to help translate that back down to the customer in the field, your contractor. If you can save him time and money, it's a very competitive market, especially here in the South Central. We have a lot of pipe manufacturers here, and we've seen a lot of success converting customers over to our system for that reason. It does have a blurb here about a minimum 3/8 cover for the inside panels, and that goes into some hydrostatic testing. As long as you have your 3/8 cover, you should be good to go on the hydrostatic testing. Manhole covers, risers. So this is just a picture, and I think this was provided really just as a close-up, so you can see here on this riser where you've got the P52 and the head of this dog bone style anchor. You see it's picked from the side here, and you're going to have a corresponding anchor on the other side, if not on all four. So makes that very easy to lift and to rotate, so you can place and put it in its final home resting spot. Okay, so again, these with concrete pipe, these are used to just move and handle, as well as setting into its final place. It does reduce labor, and again, as I said, it's been used in Europe and in North America for a long, long time. So there's a lot of familiarity in the field. You're not introducing some brand new system to your customer and at the back end getting a lot of questions on, hey, why did we have to buy special clutches? Why do we need to, incorporate new hardware or new slings and so et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and the concrete bases. So one, two, three, or four anchors can be used to make it easier for the contractors. A couple of different points here, and this is something that we can it's probably self-explanatory, but these are going to sit below the top surface, the level of concrete. So it's a flush, and that's also going to help you if you're having to stack and load these to an 18-wheeler for transport. Reduced dunnage, simple 2x4s should get that accomplished very easily. And there's also nothing protruding, so you don't have potential safety hazard, and you don't have to worry about things breaking, tearing during install. Okay. Okay, here, so for a box culvert, we're looking here at the top of this box culvert, and in this case, a 4 anchor pick, so a 4 point pick. And also you get a look at, the sealing surface of this. It's not all projects are going to be called to seal. In many cases, these are going to be stacked into male and females so that they're going to be loaded up and placed in their home. Um, you know, in a case of a seal, they're going to have a specialized surface prep there, and that's not the most common. The common is going to be like a soil tight or a silt tight application for that seal. And again, the advantage there is that these are very adaptable so that when they are being hoisted and rigged into final position, they can be placed very easily. So the construction and the final placement can go very rapidly. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the RP52 anchor embedded in the concrete, and it's calling out here for the setback. That setback is going to be required for the operation of the lifting assembly is based on the capacity rating to help allow one aspect is to help allow the proper rotation and orientation of the clutch. At the 1 ton, you've got a 5/16, 2 ton is 7/16, and the 4, 8 ton, and 20 are going to call for a 9/16. And there's also a call out there for maintaining 1 inch of concrete below the insert. Okay, so here we're just going to talk about the application, and you're seeing here in the upper left our P50 lifting clutch, and you see how this foot is orientated up. We're going to have a little bit better diagram later on this, but just to cover it quickly, this is how it's going to orientate above the insert, excuse me, above the anchor. And then uh, once you are going to engage this clutch, you're going to set it over the top. You're then going to rotate that extended lip down to the surface of the concrete in which you're fully engaged. At that point, it's a very good visual as well. That's a mechanical and visual uh, process so that it's very easy for the guys in the field to understand how this is used, when it's safe, when it's correct and ready for lifting. Um, and then once you go to remove, you're going to reverse that operation. You're going to bring that extended lip up into a vertical orientation, and now you're going to be ready to remove that P50. Okay, and as we touched on earlier, for this system, this is our P59. These are our shear bars. They're utilized for edge lifting and thin applications. Uh, it transfers the load across the top surface of the concrete to avoid blowouts. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the use of these shear bars. It just transfers the load deeper into the panel or spreads it out. These are installed over our recessed plugs, and we have two different types. So we're going to have a rebar style and then a smooth wire type. And those are both installed a little differently. The rebar style needs to be tied securely back into position. The smooth wire type goes along with our P54, and that's our recess plug. It does have clips to accept the shear bar. So we're going to see a picture of that for a little bit better illustration here coming up, but this just gives you an idea of how it's going to set inside the form. Okay, so in addition to our P52, this is our P53. This is a Swift Lift eye anchor. You're seeing it here with the P60 tension bar. Um, this is basically the same style of head we have on the P52, but just in the foot of this anchor is designed with a hole to accept this tension bar. So in cases where you have a thin wall application and you need to spread out your shear cone and increase your pull-out strength, this is a style of anchor that we're going to recommend. This P53, this is important to note that it does have no load capacity without the tension bar, meaning it is designed to be used with the tension bar. A few things to note here. We're going to be calling out in this diagram over here to the left is going to be, your center line of the wall as well as your minimum corner distances. You do have to account for the calculations that we have down here below in your wire sizes. As you can see, you step in from, a 2 ton, you're dealing with a number 3 bar. But in the 20 ton, you're dealing with a much larger bar and a number 9. Um, as far as your concrete strengths and your mixed designs, you're looking at the different lengths and we help to call those out. And if you need more engineering work, if you're designing something that falls outside of this brief chart, we do have engineering services that can help you along with that product selection. And uh, as far as we're talking on the cut lengths, I do want to mention that this is a 60-degree angle on this particular piece here. That's going to be our most common style. And if you've got any additional style, like for instance, this style here that you are calling out and for plans, please let us know. We can help you along with that as well. Okay, and this is on our Swift Lift disposable recess plug, the P54, which we called out earlier in our diagram. This is a disposable style. This is a 2-part plastic. In this case, this is showing a 4 ton. They are rated for size, so that's important to note, depending upon your lifting capacity for the anchors that are called out. This one in particular, you can see the clips. So where these clips correspond, that is going to be for use with our shear bar, but smooth bar only, not the rebar style. Okay, so for your holding studs, as many of you know, I'm sure that you don't want to cut a bunch of holes in your forms. Your forms do come with a hole. We can help to locate these P66, the P63 PL. The holding stud is also designed to be used with a wing nut. It comes threaded with a wing nut. This one to the left is for actually engaging the stud into the recess form, and this second stud is a free spinning, free running wing nut, and that's used to lock that down to the outside of your form and pull it tight. It does require the use of that P66 PL plate and that plate adds a lot of rigidity. It's somewhat hard to see here uh, because this is a flat plate. We do have plates that are pinned with studs, and we'll see that, I think, on the next slide. Um, but this plate and this stud are designed to be used together. Okay, yes. And this is what I was mentioning. So you get a little bit better view of these plates that are pinned, and this P56PL and the recess plug, uh, they do come in various sizes, so they do need to be matched to your anchor style or your anchor tonnage, but these are manufactured from urethane, which is a great material. It's it's flexible, but it resists tearing, heat, and most chemicals. Really, the main thing that is its enemy is going to be keeping it clean after use and sunlight. So, if you take care of these are not going to be something that's a disposable item for you. This is going to be something that you can get many, many pours out of. We don't want to put a number on it because it's all a little subjective. But if you look at these plates, these holding plates here, the way this is designed and the way that this plug fits over the top of the anchor, it's flexible. So it's able to be used to be able to be stretched, to sort of bent and slid over the anchor. Once this holding plate is in place, however, it adds a lot of rigidity and really seals that up around the head of the anchor. And this is going to be another style for us, is a P69M. This is going to be your magnetic setting plate. This P56PL used with the P56PL recess plug, and the magnetic setting plate actually sits flush with that P56PL, the urethane holder, and there's an additional screw that comes along with, well, it's in addition to this, it doesn't come along with it, but the P56MS screw is used through the setting plate, and that attaches it securely to the recess plug. And it makes it very easy to set your forms without having to drill additional holes in your form. These are extremely strong magnets, and however, they are easy to remove. In order to remove after stripping, you can just remove your screw. The plate remains on the form, and you reverse the screw out to break the bond. We do have some one-piece magnetic voids. Those are also available, but this is the most common type that we supply. Okay, so this is just showing installation and removal. There is no rocket science to this. This was designed to make it very easy in the field. We don't sell a specialized tool for this. Uh, Basically, you're going to use a number 3 or number 4 bar. Chuck likes to recommend using a smooth dowel bar, so I'll concede to his expertise on that. But you can use a standard rebar, or you can use screwdrivers out in the field, and you're just going to insert into the 2 steel rods, and you're just going to rotate, and you're just going to lever action those pieces. And this is for obviously the removal of our disposable plug. And this is just another look, just a few more details on that piece, P50 Swift Lift universal lifting clutch. As you can see, it's just a little closer, tighter detail on, the lifting body, the bale, the load range, again, lifted in tons. This bale is going to rotate up to 18 degrees, but the lifting eye rotates to 360. And this allows, again, for this system to really shine because it gives you the flexibility to be able to turn and rotate and while still under load. And these are not recommended for edge lifting thin wall panels. There's, in the next slide, we'll cover that application. But for 1 ton, 2 ton, 4 ton, 8 ton, and 20 ton, we're going to match those appropriately with your size of anchor. And again, this is really, kind of key to the system here. This, in conjunction with the style of the head of that anchor, gives it a ton of flexibility in the field. Okay, so again, we're just taking a little bit closer look at this, and I'll just highlight these three so we can all get a good look. This again is just a continuation of what we mentioned earlier. To install this, you're going to hold the unit upside down, T-shaped slot going to come over the body directly over the head of the Swift Lift anchor. And then you're going to lower the body onto the anchor. That slot's going to then be engaged with the head of the anchor. And then you're going to rotate the body until that lip touches the horizontal surface of the concrete. At that point, you are fully engaged and you are ready to lift. So this is a Swift Lift lifting eye. This is primarily used for our edge lifting applications. This is a high strength steel casting. It has a ball shaped end to fit to the void formed in the concrete. This is suitable for vertical and diagonal pulls. It does rotate 360 around the vertical axis. One thing that is noted here, well, I guess two things that are noted. One is that the position for vertical or diagonal pull, that this front face, which is the top of what we're looking at here, that must be facing towards the concrete. And that's going to help to avoid any type of spalls and uh, damage to the panel as it is lifted. And the second point to note is that it does not come in a 20-ton version. And here is just a piece on the operation of that P51. So initial positioning, very similar to our P50. You can see we're just trying to engage that foot. And uh, in this case here, and here, the one big difference to note too is that this slightly different. This pin must be engaged. So, in order to do that, you're going to drive that pin home once you've made that rotation, so that you are, then locked in and ready to engage in your lifting. One thing also here over on the right-hand side, load rating embossed on the front face in 2 locations. So that's for easy identification in the field. Again, these are only 1 ton, 2 ton, 4 ton, 8, not a 20. But you can easily identify these things in the field just as you can with a P50. Okay, so that kind of concludes my portion here. Heidi and Chuck, thank you very much. I'm going to turn that over to you now, and you can talk about some of our compliance. And there, Heidi's going to tell you about some more of our resources, our tools for engineering, BABA compliance. And again, thank you for your time. If you have any questions or if I can be of any service to you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Like Heidi said, I do cover the South Central region for Dayton Superior for precast technical sales. And thank you for your time. Heidi, back to you.
All right, thanks, Scott. Had to find my mute button here. So real quick, we're a little over time, but if you have any questions, please put them into the chat or the Q&A section. Scott was correct that we do the certificate of compliance. So that specifically is if he had mentioned earlier that we do domestic as well. If you need some type of letter to prove that point, we're here for you. Just contact customer service. The number is on the screen for you and they can take care of it. Just be prepared to tell them what exactly the product is and they can write the letter if obviously it is made in the US. In addition, he also referenced, I love how he set me up for these, right? The engineering. So before he had mentioned, these sizes are typical, but we can also do special engineering work for you if it doesn't show on those charts earlier. So here are some various things that we can do through our software applications or with the engineer doing it for you. Provide you with detailed capacities on the products such as coil inserts, bear cap bolts, and headed studs. And in addition, we can do the custom values that he referenced earlier. Thank you, Scott. And then if you're using our Dayton Superior inserts, we can do that detailed breakdown available with code compliant capacities for the custom load scenarios. As always, you have DaytonSuperior.com as a resource central location for you. Just use the search functionality at the top if you don't know how to get to something. It's real simple, just like in this case, P75. I know we're looking at utility anchors here and we talked about Swift Lift, but we've got some utility people out there probably. You can just search in P75 and you'll get these product pages. On the left-hand side, if applicable, you'll have precast, tilt-up handbooks. You'll have the technical data sheets that are available. Engineering, there is a link to engineering if you need to contact them. Any kind of charts with the application guides or the handbooks will be accessible to you, as well as certificate of compliance. If it is considered compliant, we will put that on there for you to just easily download and have it. In addition, if you need training, I already did a blurb for Chuck and me, but we're here for you. You can just contact us at training@daytonsuperior.com. And most importantly, the bottom right here with the click when you call, when you need answers, if you do the About Us or Contact Us link on the toolbar, you can get to this, click on the area map. So if you were in Texas and you needed a precast TSR, hey, guess what? You got Scott. His name's going to be on there with his information for contacting. But if you're in, I don't know, Washington State, you can click on that and you'll find the various people, whether it be your dealer sales manager, your TSRs for other applications and chemicals. They're all out there. And hopefully we're making it simple for you to be aware of who to contact. So with that, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I'll give you one more second to put that in if you do. Just remember, we do put these out on our Dayton Superior YouTube channel. I'll get that out there in about a couple hours, hopefully sooner. And you can sign up for the next one. Next week, we're going to be doing steel ply, a little different. But if you're into some forming for Simons, then come and join us. Doesn't look like we have any questions. So Scott, thank you so much. Chuck, I know that you're on there and he's saying hi to everybody. I always like to hit him up in the beginning and I didn't. So hi back to Chuck. And everybody, oh, there he is. Yay, Chuck. And everybody have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye now.